College football fans around Central Texas breathed a sigh of relief this morning when the Big 12 Conference announced that they would continue with fall sports. Sports Director Matt Roberts, who joins us now live in the studio. Matt, what was the biggest factor for the Big 12 in coming to this decision?
Well, Adam, Commissioner Bob Bowlesby made it very clear in his statements this morning and during his teleconference this afternoon that the Big 12 continues to monitor very closely and consult with medical professionals every step of the way.
If we get to the place where our doctors and scientists say, you know what, you guys got two wheels off the tracks and you're headed for a train wreck, we will pivot that day.
Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby announced the conference is proceeding with their plan for fall sports despite conferences like the Pac-12 and Big 10 pulling the plug on Tuesday.
Each league has to make its own decisions. When they made the decision that they made, certainly it causes us to look at the things that they indicated were drivers for them, and we have to make our own assessments.
The conference has committed to enhanced COVID-19 testing that includes 3 tests per week in high-contact sports like football, volleyball, and soccer. Athletes who do test positive will go through stricter return-to-play policies, including an EKG, blood test, echocardiogram, and cardiac MRI.
I feel good about where we are simply because we have good practices in place. And I think the other thing is, during the preseason camp is about as close to a bubble as you're going to get with college students.
One of the biggest keys to a successful season, though, will be the athletes and coaches adhering to those bubble principles on their own.
A lot of the success of teams during this season going forward, and a lot of how many potholes we fall into, has to do with whether or not young people can discipline themselves to not go to parties where there are hundreds of kids in close contact.
As far as the number of positive players that would necessitate a postponement or cancellation of a contest, much like everything else, that very much a moving target.
Institutionally, it may be decided by a number, but it also may be decided by other factors. If all your quarterbacks live together and they're in the same conference room and they all are all of a sudden infected, it's hard to go forward.
And while Wednesday was a step in the right direction for Big 12 athletics, Commissioner Bowlesby certainly not doing any touchdown dances just yet.
Well, I feel good about it. It's hard to handicap those kinds of things because if anybody is around that tells you that they can accurately forecast what's going to happen with the virus, they're delusional.
Now, Adam, in addition, Commissioner Bowlesby said athletics directors and head team doctors before each game will have to sign an attestation that no player has tested positive for COVID-19 in the previous week's testing cycle. I'll have reaction from Baylor head football coach Dave Aranda at the bottom of the hour in Fox 44 Sports. Until then, though, Adam, back over to you.